Good morning, this is Kristi from birdmentor.com, where I teach advanced skills to beginning birders, and thanks for joining me this morning. Now, the early winter can be a sad time for a lot of bird lovers because that's the time of year when most of our favorite songbirds have gone to warmer climates, which I'm starting to think isn't such a bad idea. But I'm here to tell you today that the winter doesn't have to be the downtime in birding for you. Because first of all, a lot of the resident songbirds are still around and they're toughing it out, and some are even still singing their songs, like the song sparrow and the American dipper, which has one of the most beautiful songs that I've ever heard, and it's worth checking out if you've never heard it before. And the other reason is that this is the time of year when in many areas the waterfowl start to arrive, and I just think that's pretty fabulous. Now, I must admit something to you. I haven't always geeked out on waterfowl. In fact, when I was first beginning, I used to think that they were kind of boring and pretty ordinary. But have you ever seen the red-breasted merganser or checked out the bufflehead? And now I know this one is not from North America, but have you ever seen the Mandarin duck from Russia and Asia? Some of them can be just downright sexy. Now, for those of you who think you might actually have the winter birding blues, and you might also want to try your hand at learning to identify and get to know some of the waterfowl in your area, I'm going to share a couple tips with you today. Now, this tip actually comes from the second of the 7 questions to bird identification, and that is the question of what is the behavior? And specifically, it's the how of the who, what, where, when, how, and why of bird behavior. I'm going to cover 2 of the larger areas of bird behavior today. And now we could get into hundreds of technicalities about bird behavior, but it's just not really necessary when you're first starting out. So the first one is to ask yourself, is it a dabbler or is it a diver? Now, the divers, they use their wings. Well, first of all, they use their feet, and sometimes some species use their wings to propel themselves underwater. So they actually dive underwater in search of food. The dabblers, on the other hand, they usually skim the surface with their bill and sometimes tip their bodies up. Have you ever seen like a bottle floating in the water where it just kind of bobs like that? That's what the dabblers look like. They tip their butts up in the air. Sometimes their feet are flailing. They can look a little goofy at times. But those are the dabblers. And it's really helpful if you simply want to focus on just learning the dabblers in your area or memorizing who they are, because there's 14 in North America, which means that in your bioregion, most likely there's a lot less. And so if you have a good sense of who the dabblers are, then you'll be able to rule out a lot of the other ones, and it's going to make your identification a lot simpler. Now, the next question you can ask yourself is, do they lift straight up off the water, or do they need to take a running start? So let's again think about our divers. The divers are heavier by nature because, of course, that's what helps them to swim underwater and sometimes even to great depths. So what they need a little extra help getting off the water, so they actually have to take a running start. So if you see a bird kind of running on the water to start taking off, you know that that's a diver. Now, the dabblers, on the other hand, being lighter by nature, they don't need that extra help, and they can literally just explode up off the water. And if this helps visually, you can think about airplanes, right? So an airplane actually needs a running start, and that would be like your diver, a little bit heavier by nature, whereas a helicopter, they can take straight off of their landing pad, right? Now, these are just a few of the many avenues you can take with learning to identify waterfowl in your area. If you do want to go deeper and learn more, there's a number of fantastic resources out there. Ducks Unlimited, in fact, has a lot of great videos and ID facts on their website. You can check them out. And also there's another resource out there that I saw not too long ago that I haven't been able to find since, and I would love to find it because I want to share it with everybody. And that is, there was like a poster size document done of birds in black and white. And why that is so important is that I think I said birds, ducks in black and white. And why that's important is that with ducks, the question you want to ask yourself, and now this is getting a bit more advanced, is where is the white? And I'm not going to say anything else about that, other than if you find that document, please message me and let me know, because I want to share it with you all. And the other thing that can be helpful when you're first starting out, if you have access to one, is to get yourself a spotting scope. If you really start to fall in love with ducks, because there actually are a couple ducks pretty far out there right now that even with my binoculars, I'd still have kind of a hard time seeing any identifying features, which is again why I shared what I did, because you don't need to be too close to see those behaviors of the ducks. But anyway, if you do have access to a spotting scope, it's a great thing if you get into ducks. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel if you like the video. And if you are on social media, if you're on Twitter and Facebook, and you find Bird Mentor there, go ahead and please like my page. And then also, let me know what your favorite duck is when you start getting out there. I'd love to know. And I will see you next week.